ever wondered that why DigiYatra, UPI and FASTag became so successful in India? The UPI has become so successful that many countries have been looking forward to India's experience in embracing it. How is it possible that a local panwala, a local pani puri wala, a local merchant is more than willing to take a UPI payment that goes straight to her bank account rather than dealing with cash? How is that possible? How did digital revolution circumvent the literacy rate in the country? There are more people using digital techniques of receiving and making payments than the people who are literate in this country, and that has happened in the last 10 years. How is that possible? It is possible for the very first time because the digitization is increasing convenience. And I'll just take these 3 case studies to bring home the point that because of large scale digitization of human engagement, you have to really embrace design thinking. Now, design thinking is a great panacea for your ailments with the analog world and your movement towards the digital currency. And the 3 cases are DigiYatra, UPI and FASTag. Let's start with DigiYatra. If you ever use a DigiYatra, and I am a great consumer of DigiYatra because of my extremely frequent travels to the airport, you almost have a princely treatment. Isn't that true? You straight away walk through and through all the way to your terminal and even maybe some more, and without getting to show your any of the identity proofs. Your face is your identity, and I think this is an amazing experience that many countries in the Western Hemisphere are short of. And the reason it has happened is because of very high level of intuition. The amount of technology that goes behind recognizing your face is enormous. Imagine within seconds your credentials are shared to that terminal which scans you, and that data is stored, and all of that is happening without any physical intervention. Which means what design thinking does is that design thinking presents a much more simplified user interface, and all the complexity is hidden from the customer. And by hiding the complexity, what happens is that you are able to improve the ease of the customer, and you are able to reduce the threshold of engagement. Similarly, for FASTag, the simple sticker that is stuck to your windscreen is so powerful. For one, it is passive, which means it has no battery requirement. Second, it is tamper proof. Once you remove it, it gets deactivated, and it can still be read from multiple angles and from a reasonable amount of distance. Now, what it does is that it takes away entire effort of getting human involved. Similarly, for UPI, there are more than 40 crore transactions on UPI alone, 40 crore number of transactions on UPI alone that happen on a daily basis. And how many of these transactions fail? How many of these transactions have ever gone to a wrong account? I can't think of any. And how is that made possible with a very small team that works with the payment gateways? And it happens because that we have masked the complexity with the simplification. And the real genius is the QR code. What a QR code does, which is again a passive print, remember, a QR code is not a barcode that requires a specific type of reader. A QR code is a simple print on a piece of paper, which I think is a remarkable progress that we have made in our country. You direct your camera to the QR code, in comes the 10-digit number on which the amount has to go, and there you go. What it does is it takes away human intervention. So, all the 3 cases of DigiYatra and DigiLocker, of course, UPI or any transaction payment gateway that you are using, and FASTag are amazing examples of how design thinking has been used in an Indian context to ease the pain of millions over millions of Indians. And please understand, the variety of people that you are dealing with is humongous. A FASTag is being used by a truck driver as well as a chauffeur driven Mercedes Benz, and it is the same experience that both of them are getting, which means a FASTag should be readable at any height. A truck, the FASTag is almost at 3.5 feet from the ground level. In a sedan, it would be not more than maybe 1 feet from the ground level, and yet at both the heights, it has to be readable without any intervention. And this requires for you to think like a consumer, mask the complexity and present a very simple intuitive face. The barcode has been replaced with the QR code, the physical dealing of cash has been replaced by a passive sticky FASTag, the showing of your ID cards and your the tickets at at the airports is being replaced by a retina scanner and the facial scanner. And I think all this is happening right in our lifetime in our cities, except that we don't feel amazed. These are minor miracles, if you will, but we somehow have just been so used to it that we are not taking a pause and getting amazed at how these things are possible in our own country. So I think all that has been made possible because of the adoption of design thinking in a way that now we are trying to understand the user, what can go wrong, what are the needs, both explicit and implicit, and where we can have a minimal amount of human intervention and allowing the people to explore and experiment and correct themselves. So what design thinking does to you with all these examples which I am trying to offer and bring home is the fact that we are trying to understand the human, but not exposing the human to the solution in its entirety. And a very good analogy which I can offer to you is your wristwatch. You see, when you're looking at your wristwatch, the wristwatch has about 2 or 3 hands. In my watch, I have only 2 hands, the hour hand and the minute hand. But the moment I open the back case, the complexity is revealed to me. But to the user of the watch, there is no complexity. You see, I have reduced the complexity of the watch into simple movements of the hand. And that is what design thinking is all about. You have to be very complex at the back end, but very simple at the front end. You can be standardized at the back end, but customized at the front end. You can be very, very affordable at the back end, but very premium at the front end. And that way of thinking comes through design thinking. So I hope the example stays with you.